Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
What you just heard is a wonderful, brief exposition of the Dhrupad style of Alap by Srimati Arundhati ji. Arundhati ji is new to our community. Arundhati ji, welcome to our community in Dallas.
Thank you.
We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saravana ji and Ganesh, for giving me this opportunity.
Arundhati ji, you have a very prolific music history.
Yes.
From being selected for the National Scholarship to pursue higher studies or advanced studies in the Dhrupad style, to currently being a faculty at the Shankar Mahadevan Academy, teaching music to other students. I think that's a tremendous journey, and we'd like to unravel that through the interview.
Okay.
But also sort of process and understand for the entire audience of music, not just Hindustani or people that are familiar, what the Dhrupad style of music itself is. And we want to do that as a conversation with you. So it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much. So I would start, what is Dhrupad style? So Dhrupad is an ancient style of singing which has to be sung in olden days in Sam Veda. And then it carry forward to the yogis and musicians, those who wanted to do music in temples. Because if you will see the Dhrupad poetry, the pad or the bandishes, that is all belongs to god and goddess.
Okay.
And it used to be done in the temple. So, and the development, or you can say the improvisation, what we do in Dhrupad style, it is based on one of the shlok. It's called Hari Om Narayan Taran Taran Hari. So they used to do it in temple, but later in Mughal Kal, Akbar wanted this music has to be done in their court. So he asked Birbal to call some musician who can do Dhrupad style of singing, but he was not aware of what is Dhrupad. And Birbal was like, how to say, because it's all about God and Goddess. So after that, it started creating a poetry which is based on the seasons or the local environment,
Okay.
and that is how it started little bit of diluting later era.
Okay. Okay.
So the actual Dhruva is the universal truth, and Pad is the fixed composition set into Tal and the Swar.
Okay.
So that is Dhrupad.
Nice.
I belong to Dagar Gharana, and I'm a disciple of Ustad Zia Fariruddin Dagar Sahab.
That's your guru?
Yeah, he is my guru.
Nice. Nice.
So, but I am raised in a musical family. My father is a first disciple of Pandit Bimle Ndomukharji Sahab, who is a renowned sitarist in Imdad Ghani Gharana. And my elder brother, he is also a sitarist in All India Nagpur. He is a top grade artist. My sister, she's a Kathak dancer.
Nice.
And I'm doing music.
So musical family all round. Nice. Actually, it's very interesting that you brought up and you very specifically elaborated on the idea of the meaning of the word Dhrupad as like an upper brushed from Dhruvapad.
Yes.
Right? I was listening to some lectums and reading about the concept before I came and spoke to you just to have a better understanding. So, I guess your Guru Bhais, the Gundisha brothers, they were talking in a lecture demonstration and they're mentioning the idea that maybe around the 10th or the 11th century, around the time Jayadeva's Ashtapadi came, was probably the first or like the earliest recorded history of going back to the idea of a pada or like a pallavi, what we call in South India, where you sing lines and then you go back, and that the idea was until then it would be linearly going one after the other instead of reverting back. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah. And did the form of the lyrics influence the style of the music, or was it more that the musical structure or style was even ancient to this, and you could say, let's say the way you sang the alap would be even ancient to the formation of the lyrics and the structure around the lyrics?
Actually, the concept, the tradition is we still carry forward. We didn't change anything. The syllables which we use for developing the rag, there is a story again, because
please yes,
I belongs to Dagar family, and my Ustad's grandfather, Ustad Behram Khan Sahab, who was a court singer in Jaipur Palace. So he invented that the shlok used to be cut into small syllables so that it can be merged or it can be go systematically with melodic rhythm.
Okay.
So for, as I said, the development come from the chant Hari Om Narayan. So what he did, he did a lot of research and then came to conclusion that if we take, he did study in Sanskrit language, and there he found there is Laghu Swar and Dirgha Swar.
Right.
So if we want to sustain the sound on some specific swar, and if we want to continue the sound with the Dirgha Swar, it can you can relate or you can develop the rag more aesthetically.
Okay.
So from Hari we started taking Re. Re na.
Nice.
So Narayan na ra na, Taran ta na na.
Okay.
So this is how that come after his this research, and we carry forward the same legacy of doing this using these syllables.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was in a sense your Jeshta Guru. Jeshta Guru. Right. Very nice. Very nice. And this was from the Jaipur. He was with the Jaipur associated with the Jaipur Palace.
Court singer, but he is the founder of Dagar family, Dagar Gharana, actually, not the family, Dagar Gharana.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. One other interesting thing that I actually observed and then I read about, and I would be very happy for you to elaborate on, is the idea of the alap.
Yeah.
Again, in the lecture by Gundecha brothers, they talk about how, and until they mention this, I didn't realize, because I've heard, but I never noticed it, is that the use of the bowls,
Yes.
from the Hari Om Narayan,
Yes.
the shloka, it's very interesting because they said it tries to mimic the idea of the rag played on the veena,
Yes.
which means every time the
Yeah.
left hand is plucking,
Yes.
you are using your tongue to use the syllables for that.
Yes.
And you don't do pure akar or pure ikar with
Yeah.
the gamaks or the meads in
Right.
that.
Right.
Is that again, first, is that always true? And number two, would you say that this developed with time, or this was the earliest tradition and we have been, keeping that safe and passing the tradition on?
We are keeping that the tradition and passing this,
Nice.
but Veena and Vani, my Ustad Saab and his elder brother Ustad Moinuddin Khan Saab, Moinuddin Dagar Saab, they were famous by their name Veena and Vani. My Ustad
Okay.
used to sing, that's why he was famous for Vani.
Okay.
And Bade Ustad Saab, he used to play Rudra Veena.
Wow.
So these Dagar brothers were famous for Veena Vani Dagar.
Interesting.
So they are you can say coin ke do pehlu hai, Veena and Vani.
Okay.
It's like that.
It gives a very, as somebody who's familiar with the South Indian style of music, it's very interesting the tonal quality that shifts when
Yes.
you use different syllables,
Yes.
and also at the same swar,
Yeah.
the same type of gamak,
Yes.
and still when you just change the syllable,
Yes.
the impact that it creates is very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you elaborate and maybe like
Yeah.
give some demonstration
Yeah,
to?
sure.
Thank you. Yes.
So because there is Geetis also. So we use Sadharani Geeti, which includes all the elements of the Gaiki, like
Okay.
soft gamak, the rigorous gamak, then softness and the modulation and the mean from transition from one note to another,
Okay.
with that ghasit, or you can say, which you can sing in instrument.
Okay.
And Veena also, that we so na ra na re no. So that is how it goes. When we do the fast improvisation to create a little bit of you can say
Energy.
and you can say a little twist in the singing.
Okay.
That comes under jod, and it's
Okay.
a melodic rhythm in a systematic tal structure. So
example.
jod is like so I'm using the same syllabus in a faster tempo.
Okay.
That is jod, but in Dhrupad we say jalad alap.
Jalad.
Jalab means fast, and alap
Okay.
is the
Okay.
alap
Jalad.
ka hi
Ah.
next type is jod.
Jalad similar to jaldi in common.
Jaldi, correct.
Okay. Okay.
Correct. And instrumentalists, they use jod, but we say jalad alap.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Na, ra, na, 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 ra. Re, na, ra, na, 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 ra, na, 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 ra, na, 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 ra, na, 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 te, ra, 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 na, na, re, ra, 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 na, na, re, ra, ra, na, re, na, ra, na, 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 na. Ra, na, na, ra, na, na, ra, na, na, ra, na, na, re, ra, ra, na, re, na, ra, na, 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 ra, na, 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 ra, na, na, na. Te, ra, 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 na, na, re, ra, 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 na, na, re, na, na, ra, na, 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 ra, na, 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 ra, na, na. Anana, anana, te, ra, 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 na, na, re, ra, 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 na, na, anana, te, ra, ra, na, re, na, ra, na, na, re, no. Ra, na, 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 ra, na, na, ra, na, ra, na, ra, na, 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 na. Te, ra, 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 na, na, re, ra, 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 na, na, anana, te, ra, 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 na, na, re, ra, ra, na, re, ra, ra, na, re, na, ra, na, 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 na. Ta, ta, ra, na, te, ta, ra, na, na, re, ra, 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 na, na, anana, te, ta, ra, na, na, re, ra, 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 na, na, re, no, ra, na, na, na. So I am till madhyam only, but the changing of syllables is creating the different mood.
Right.
Right? So this tanatum is the indication that you are finishing the phrase, or you are finishing this style, this type.
Okay.
So if I am increasing the tempo and doing tanatum, means I want to go to next level.
Stage. Okay.
Okay.
Nice. That is very interesting. I have two segue questions from here, and we'll look at both because I definitely want to know more about a couple of things.
Yeah.
Pandit Vikrantji was saying, and he sort of laid out a flow chart. I really like that idea, and I want to propose that and get your opinion or build on that. So he said, you first develop a rag jnana.
Yeah.
From there, you get a raga drishti.
Correct.
And then subsequently, once you have the drishti, you are able to do a raga srishti.
Correct.
It was very
Such
interesting.
a beautiful.
Yeah. I was very impressed by it. He particularly brought that in the context where he was saying, with the idea of Dhrupad, what he was trying to establish is that the rag precedes the idea of how the lyrics merges with the rag to create what we now know as a song, which has like rhythmic portion, melodic portion, and the lyrics.
Correct.
Right? And he was even quoting from Nati Shastra to say that even the way Bharata Muni saw it, the rag is probably the most essential part.
Correct.
And then the lyrics and the rhythm come and join to give more variations.
Correct.
I want to delve a little bit more deeper into the idea of rag, particularly from your experience as a Dhrupad artist and in the Hindustani classical, or let's say Uttar Bharat classical.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think was the concept behind the idea of how you define, let's say, Bhagyashri that you sang now, or any of the other ragams? Can you elaborate on that?
So first thing, as he says, first you should know the structure of that rag. So rag is just a scale which give you the idea how to develop that, right? That is fixed. The in general for generic mode, you can say the aroha and avroha of that rag.
Okay.
But in Dhrupad style, we don't use that aroha and avroha. We use word chalan.
Yes.
So that is the chalan. So chalan of the rag, or you can say dagar. How to take the paths to establish the rag with purity and with pure aesthetics.
Okay.
So chalan, you should know that jana aisa hai, and you have to come back with like in a certain way.
Okay.
In Bhagyashri, if we talk about rag Bhagyashri, in Bhagyashri while going, we don't take pancham.
Okay.
But avaroha, we take sa ni dha ma pa da ga ma ga re sa, and while going sa ga ma dha ni sa, right? So that was the rag Bhagyashri. That is the just introduction. But now it's up to you as per your potential, or you can say as per your thinking or your approach, how you are developing the rag.
Okay.
So, for example, there is a plain paper, and after listening and after the sound which you are hearing.
Right.
And after that you are drawing your own creativity.
Okay.
Right? But मेरे उस्ताद इसके लिए भी बहुत अच्छा बोलते थे कि there are three things which cannot be which are same, like भगवान, सुर और हवा.
Okay.
So those are three elements. भगवान को किसी ने देखा नहीं है, सुर हम देख नहीं सकते, हवा हम देख नहीं सकते. It is all about experience.
Okay.
So how you are experiencing and how you are interpreting after that it's a music. So मेरे वो कहते थे जिसने सुर समझ लिया उसको ईश्वर दिख जाता है, जो ईश्वर को समझ लेता है उसको सुर अपने आप दिख जाते हैं. So it's just a wind. आप उसको आप कैसे बहते हुए जा रहे हैं.
Okay.
So he used to say हम हमें म्यूजिक का ज्ञान मिला है. So we should we are blessed that we are here to do some your duty and क्या बोलते हैं, give that knowledge to others.
Okay.
That is also a medium of getting moksha, because music हम करते हैं उसी के लिए, right?
Right. To take further from there, actually it's very interesting that you mentioned your teacher stating that उसमें कितना साधन का कंपोनेंट है वो अनुभव में, राग का अनुभव मिलने के लिए, और कितना है सुनने का, श्रवण का.
श्रवण, सी they both are parallel. मतलब सुनना भी उतना ही जरूरी है जितनी साधना. अगर आप सुनेंगे ही नहीं, if you will not listen a good music, and again music is music, there is no good and bad in it.
Okay.
So सुनने के बाद he always used to say, when I was with him I was just 20.
Okay.
So he used to say, मैंने सिखा दिया है, now do चिंतन. And I was always worried about क्या चिंतन. But now when I'm in my later age of 40s,
and you're teaching other students.
So now I can relate that कि चिंतन means if I say sa ga ma, now in between sa ga ma, how many the variation of phrases or the way you can interpret it, and using the different syllables or using the different phrases or different patterns, that is your chintan. So chintan hamesha hona chahiye. You have to think about what you are doing. And now also when I feel like I have learned this Bhagyashree long back, but whenever I sing I feel like हाँ आज का मध्यम थोड़ा अलग था, and Gandhar. So it's all every time you are just learning and you are experiencing and you are getting, I cannot say better and better, but some changes are
something new.
Some changes and some variation is there, definitely.
Okay. Would you say then that there is a certain aspect of the music which you would say is more rigid, as in these are certain essential ideas for this rag or this tal or this composition or this structure, like you said, Jaladalap, which is essential, but there are certain other aspects which is open to interpretation, or जिसमें अनुभव सही हो, तो वो permitted है in the sense because it becomes a part of that raga. Because the raga itself has infinite possibilities, but it is still having a definition. Infinite does not mean it has no definition.
But come back to Dhrupad style. So Dhrupad is a ancient style, and because of that he was, when I was with Ustad Sahab, he was like, you should not dilute the structure or the style what has to be done in the olden days. So like poetry wise, the process, or you can say the style, definitely. But now these days people don't have time to listen such a long concert. Like Dhrupad Alap goes for 1.5 hours. Olden days, now it's not possible because nobody has that much of patience. But to maintain that, you can cut down the timing, or you can say the parameters or the time strain. You can observe the limit, make it limited. But if you will don't go with the system which they have defined in the olden days, then there is no point saying we are carry forwarding the Dhrupad style.
Okay.
So Dhrupad is the ancient one, and that has to be carried forward in generation to generation.
It is very interesting you say that, because in the start of the interview, you mentioned the word, it's like a prayer to God. It's like a meditation. Right now, we are at a place where you're looking at reels and shorts which are like 10 seconds, 20 seconds long.
Yeah.
Now, you can't ignore the fact that the society is taking a certain direction,
Right.
right? उसमें बुरा हो या अच्छाई हो, जो है सो है,
Yes.
right? That is one thing.
Yeah.
But there is also the other thing that it seems, at least from understanding from you
Right.
and the other lectures that I'm hearing, consistently the idea is the purpose of Dhrupad is to hold not just the raga and the song and the structure to it, but also our own mind and our focus. It is trying to bring it to one point and relax and calm and make it there, be placed there, which is entirely opposite to the effect that something like a 10 seconds or 20 seconds act will have or item will have. So the question is, when you teach students, and you are also a teacher, you have your music school, so when you teach students, have you encountered this dilemma where the younger generation of students are interested, very excited, ready to learn, ready to practice, but the reality that they live in is very different from, let's say, your generation or like some of the other generations? And then if that is the case, how do you explain to them that this has a value which you will only gain with time? It is not immediate, not instant gratification.
Actually, very good question. And what you said, like the younger kids to whom I am teaching. So first thing, whatever music you are doing, it has to be, it has to have some interesting element in that, right? Now, the 10-minute ka reel or whatever we are saying now these days, it sound very interesting to listen. Arey, quick ho gaya, and we feel like, arey, nice. But in this modern era, and where we are, technology is so much boomed, and everybody wants some kind of meditation, and that's why everybody is now doing yoga, meditation, relaxation, and they are doing all kind of chanting, and so many I have seen the white people and the foreigners who does the chanting of Om.
Okay.
Right. And they started believing that this Nad sound, which is Nad actually, Nad is a very big word, concept. We cannot explain it in a word. But everybody is now behind that meditation and relaxation and some kind of a peace. So if something is giving you while doing the simple 7 notes saregama pada nisa, but the approach and the technique is so meditative, if we will just give one try to this style, I'm sure out of 10 at least 1 or 2 will start enjoying this style. And that can be beneficial in later age also. That was the first thing. And for younger generation, those who are coming to my place for music, they are so fragile, and they are so, you can say, hum unka ghar, unko bana rahe hain, right? So they are in my hand. So do some creativity. Kids like to do some experiment, and they want to do everything they want fast.
Right.
So if I will say sarega ma nisa, okay, today we have to do it the sarega ma nisa in 170 BPM or 200, and they are like, sarega ma nisa, they do like that. But when I pointed out, no, it has to be the correct sarega ma nisa. So first, what I realize, the interest, and then if you will try to highlight their weakness, not the weakness actually, their point that where you are making mistake, and it shouldn't be like that. They try to understand and they work on that.
Okay.
And listening when you sing, and when I teach, I say we are doing just the simple saregama or basic pentatonic rags I have started. So when I say sa, for example, if I'm doing what you say, Bhupali. So I'm doing Bhupali. So sa re ga pa ga re dha sa. Then they listen, they'll just look at you like, why she is singing, it sound different. And when we do so you should not force them to do the same way, but if you will give them the guidance or if you will present the sound that it is sounding much better. And if you are doing the sa re ga pa dha sa, that, and sa re ga pa, the tonal quality,
Right.
the voice throw,
Right.
and the modulation, then if they are enjoying, they will try to adopt. And kids are very good imitators. They are very good in that. So this is unknowingly they grasp everything
Very
which
quick.
is required.
Right.
So you can mold them in that way. And those who are very interested, they will come up definitely later,
Okay.
after a few years, that no, we will try.
Okay. I'm going to take a segue from that answer also. You said something very interesting, and I was actually about to get on to that.
Mm.
When you sang the Jalad Alap,
Mhm.
one of the things I was noticing is the precision of the notes that you have is incredible,
Oh, thank you.
right? And what I also noticed is that in a way it sounds, or from the outside it seems simple, not complicated, but that is also the danger, because
Yeah.
when something is very simple
Yeah.
and you mess something up, it is extremely obvious.
Exactly.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, when you just did the Arohara for, Bhupali,
Yeah.
yes, you're singing only, like you said, you're only singing the Sa Re Ga Pa.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of, subtle movements, what we say, gamakams or
Yeah.
variations of mead. It's so subtle.
Yeah.
How you land on the ga,
Correct.
right? How you go to the pa, right? All these, and that's what makes the rag stand out from just singing a flat note.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
My question to you is, as somebody who practices music myself, and
Yeah.
coming from the Carnatic style,
Yeah.
we are very gamakam heavy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So a lot of the times, I can at least speak for myself that there is extreme lack of accuracy.
Yeah.
Extremely inaccurate thalam.
Yeah.
Or extremely inaccurate raga specificity, the clarity in the raga.
Yeah.
We get away with it because the gamakams are complicated.
Yes.
And so for the audience, the resolution is not good enough for them to see that.
Correct.
Now, digital recording is making a difference. So you cannot escape from there, like with us here.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, you have no option whether you're digitally recorded or live on air, with mic, without mic.
No,
so the question is, what brings the patience to persist and do it again and again and listen a lot, so that 20, 30 years down the line, there is one day where you feel, you know what, today I really felt like the raga came out well. Right? And all of the days I know I was trying for it. Today is the day it came.
I wish I will say something like that in later years, because I still struggling.
Sound excellent.
So now actually every individual rag, those are having Shuddha swaras like and the Komal swar. Every rags, Shadaj, Rishabh, Gandhar, Madhyam, whatever is applicable for that rag is different from the other rag.
Okay.
And that comes under Shrutis. And that, अभी जैसे अभी मैंने गाया सा रे ग सा रे ध रे ध सा. So the Rishabh and the Gandhar was the actual Bhupali Rishabh and Gandhar, and that's why it was good 2 years, right? If a ga ga re ga pa ga, the throw and the volume and the throw, if I'm yeah, so if it is not certain, or if it is not up to that rag, it will be rag Bhupali, because technically you are not wrong,
right?
But वो बोलता है ना इमोशन एंड यहाँ जो दिल को लगता है, that will not come. Okay. But you will appreciate, हाँ वो तो systematic था, technically correct था, everything, the tal was correct, the pattern was correct, everything, but something was missing. That something missing was the accuracy. And that अब गमक करते समय भी, that's why I said Dagar Vani is the gharana where we took all the good things from all the different gharanas.
Nice.
So आपके कर्नाटक में जैसे गमक is very, you go that right. Always come from here, right? ना हम लोग so it comes from throat also, stomach also, and diaphragm also, right? So you should know when to use and how to use, and how much throw has to be there for that particular gamak.
Okay.
Right? But it all it comes only after riyaz and listening to
Listening.
your yeah, it cannot be means I cannot suggest anybody कि हाँ YouTube सुन लो तुमको आ जाएगा. मेरे उस्ताद कहते थे इट्स अ गुरुमुख विद्या. जितना आप अपने गुरु को और सामने बैठ के सुनोगे you will able to understand that more. So Ghana, as I did my Dhrupad style of singing in Gurukul style, right? And I was with Ustad for 3 years. So we had a very good lifestyle. We used to wake up every day at 3:30 midnight.
Wow.
Or bina snan kiye you cannot go to that music room.
Okay.
So we used to go to music room at 4 o'clock and until sun rises. You have to do just one swer, that is sa, and that's called lower sa. This is and जब तक सूर्य नहीं सनराइज नहीं होता था, we are not allowed to leave the room.
Wow. Wow.
So but now again I just give my student example and I say for you 5 minutes every day you cannot leave that 5-minute riyaz. So things are changing, the patterns are changing, the thinking are changing, but if you will give them in a certain way to a little bit every time, then maybe definitely they will grasp.
Okay. Okay. That's a very positive answer and I really like it. I want to touch in a very different direction. I'm assuming that your background is from Maharashtra.
Yes.
I personally have been very, let's say, curious and it's an enigmatic ragam, the Madhyamat Sarang. For whatever reason, a lot of the abhangs, a lot of the Marathi music seems to take into the Brindavani Sarang and Madhyamat Sarang. Is there origins that is more rooted to that region, or is it just that for whatever reason it got famous because major composers or sants they used it and then the tradition followed from there? And if you can demonstrate something in the ragam, we'd be very happy.
Okay, so actually Madhyamat Sarang is I cannot forget any because that was the it's again a pentatonic scale. And when I joined my Ustad Sahab after my scholarship, so first 2 weeks there was no lesson.
Okay.
And I was very frustrated. I called and उस समय तो STD और वो होता था ना, you have to go to
telephone booth. Yes.
So I went there and I called my father. I said, see, I don't know what I'm doing here for last 2 weeks. He didn't teach me anything. So my father says, see, I'm basically from Bhilai, Durg, Madhya Pradesh now. Okay. Now it's Chhattisgarh actually.
Okay.
So I was with Ustad Sahab in Bhopal. Okay. So he said, if you will say no, I want to come back, it's not possible. Give me some time and be patient. And I was like, but what shall I do? I go every day. I sit there for 3-4 hours just like that. And he was not even talking to me. Aa gayi, okay, sit. So I was like, what to do now? And one fine day, my face was very, I was angry and it was visible. Okay. So he said, he asked 3 other my Guru Bhai, bring Tanpura, gents Tanpura. And he tuned the Tanpura and he started singing. And that rag was Madhyamat Sarang. Oh. Before that, I never heard Madhyamat Sarang in my life because, as I said, in my house, everybody was musician except me in my childhood. Because I was like, everybody is doing music, I don't want to do. So he started singing Madhyamat Sarang, and after his Jod Jhala, I was in tears, and I'm like, I usually don't cry. So I was like, I was feeling very shy why I was crying, and when he said, "Kyun ro rahi hai?" and I said, I don't know what was that. I felt like it was something different, which is not possible in this life. And he was like, this is the music which I teach. And I'm like, ye to nahi hoga. So and that is how my journey started after that. So that rag was Madhyamat Sarang. But the way what he did in my Gurukul life, I never tried to sing that rag because my ears are there,
Set to that
set to
level.
that
Yes,
level.
yes.
And whenever I sing, I feel like मुझे नहीं गाना चाहिए, but I will sing some.
Please do, please do.
There is a composition which is set into 5 beats, and we say it sadra.
Okay.
तुम रब तुम साहेब, तुम रब तुम साहेब, तुम ही करतार, तुम ही करतार, घट घट पूरन जल थल भर मार, तुम रब तुम साहेब, तुम रब तुम साहेब, तुम ही करीम, तुम ही रहीम, तुम ही करीम, तुम ही करीम, तुम करतार नार नार, तुम रब तुम साहेब, 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 तुम रब तुम साहेब.
एक और बात है इसमें, when you're handling different ragas, does the fact that you have a certain amount of expertise, let's say आपने 6 साल या 7 साल का अभ्यास किया है, पढ़ा है गुरु से, if you have not learnt a raga formally from the teacher, is it possible to say that when you attain a certain level of, let's say, academic learning stature, is it possible that you can listen to the great masters and be able to pick up the nuances that make that raga, because you're also singing, you're practicing? Or is it always the case that 90 to 95% you want to learn that from your teacher because no amount of expertise can bring that information or that specificity to
Yeah.
वो राग कहाँ से बनता है और कैसे
Yes,
बनता है, उसका
yes.
चलन क्या है. You cannot just learn it. Even let's say no YouTube, no social media.
Right.
आप सीधे in person सुन रहे हो उसको
Yeah.
उनको, you'll still not be. What is your opinion on that?
I still feel like the nuances and the basic the development of any rag, any simple ho, yeah, any complicated rag, if you will not listen to your guru or your teacher, he is only the person who can guide you how to be there in that rag, because in
Okay.
Hindustani classical music or any, there is a rag system. And for example, abhi jaise sa re ma pa ni, अब ना Vrindavani sarang sa sa ni ba ma re sa, so both the rags are
Right.
same, right? For sa re ma pa ni sa,
Right.
that is come
Akal
in bass
Nishwari.
also, that is come in Vrindavani sarang
Also.
also. So all those, the similar rag, if you will not, if nobody will tell you how to navigate or how to protect the rag to be there in with that purity, you cannot establish the rag with that purity.
Okay.
Right. So somebody you need who can guide you how to go to that rag and develop without disturbing any or without any other
Falling into
rangs.
the
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
that is, and see, when you listen somebody, when somebody is singing, he is doing that time not riyaz. He is just singing his creativity. But when you do the riyaz, that comes all the small things which is applicable or not applicable, you can understand
Stop
while
and-
learning.
Right. Right.
You cannot just listen and say, "Ha, ye raga aa gaya hai." You
Right.
cannot say,
Right.
because you are listening to one particular artist who did in his thought and he developed the rag. But few points or few things are there which he hasn't mentioned, or you don't have that potential to understand why he took that path. Means to moving to taking some phrases which is विवादी स्वर जैसे बोलते हैं, right? Which is not applicable in that rag, but you are taking to beautifying that rag, to enhance the beauty of that rag. But the way he has taken, because of his expertise, you cannot copy that, right? If you will understand and then if you want to try that, maybe then you can create something else.
Okay.
But just listening and developing anything or learning is not possible. Not possible बोलने से बचा, you will not get the authentic fundamental of that.
Okay. Let's jump on to one of your more recent and current activities. You are a faculty with the Shankar Mahadevan Academy. Can you explain a little about what you teach there? What kind of students come to you? Do they already have certain expertise? Are they coming for advanced training? Do they know, for example, how to sing with perfection for the digital audio? Are they learning to learn more of the classical music? What are the kind of students you interact with there?
So now again, interesting part. I am a Dhrupad exponent, but I am teaching in Shankar Mahadevan Academy Khayal singing.
Okay.
So Khayal is the branch of Indian classical music. So Dhrupad is the root, and Khayal singing is the one of the branch.
Okay.
So Khayal singing, the style is different.
Okay.
But I did it in my childhood because as I said, I am born and raised in the musical family.
Right.
So I have, but the styles are different. But whoever is now continuing with me as my student, they come to know that without sur they cannot be good in any style.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, and just sitting online for 45 minutes and developing their interest towards the Indian classical music, it's a big challenge.
Okay.
But I really appreciate our academy also, Shankarji especially, to brought this thinking process to do music online because of this busy lifestyle. And it's working. I'm not saying, because initially I thought, how it's possible just in 45 minutes, just in a week, how can you train somebody in classical music? Because we were there 24/7 in Ustad's place to learn to adopt any style. How is possible? But yeah, as I said, you will get something, but jo sadhana bolte hain, that perfection, for that you definitely need
In person.
and um, you have to spend time on that. Otherwise, you won't get it.
Okay.
And all the music is based on Dhrupad, because Dhrupad gives the foundation and voice training, what we do.
Okay.
So, when to produce loud sound, when to use the soprano voice, when to give the what you say,
Vibrato.
kampan, vibrato.
Yeah.
Right. And where to produce the softness, and all this voice training that comes under Dhrupad style. आज जो भी लोग बोलते हैं, like everybody is like हम voice training देते हैं. So means
Dhrupad is where it all starts.
That is the root.
Okay. अब अरुंधति जी, आप तो you're like a precious gem, and we are very happy that we have you in Dallas.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes. Can you elaborate a little on what are the things you're doing here?
Okay.
What are your interests, and like how you'd want to reach out to the community, maybe collaborate?
Yeah. First of all, again, I want to thank Saravana ji that I am blessed to meet those people who are here to promote Indian classical music. Not only Indian, the Carnatic style, all the Indian forms of music, they are trying their best to promote younger generation, right? So I am blessed that I got connected with those people. Second thing, as a opening school, I just want to develop the interest in young kids, that music what we are doing is not boring, because they born here, and they more inclined to Western music. So I want to try to give them this
A taste of
Indian classical music, that it's not boring, it's interesting if you can make it. And as I said, I am from Dhrupad faculty, and my expertise is in Dhrupad. And people are now roaming around to just find the peace. So I want to ask.
You can learn music and you can get peace.
Yeah. So I want to encourage people.
Purisha School of Music.
So I want to encourage people, just give it a try to listen the Dhrupad style of singing. I'm sure you will get some kind of peace while listening that Dhrupad.
Okay.
But I want to appreciate all kind of music, whatever music they are doing. But music has to be there in everyone's life. That is what I feel.
Very nice. Are you a performer, or do you primarily teach?
I am a performer, but now, as I said, we are new to Dallas. I am doing teaching as well, but I want to definitely give my Dhrupad performance if possible.
Yes, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in the community who'd be very excited to have you either bring solo concerts or collaborate in different forms.
So, but I do, Dhrupad is my main folk, genre, but I do Khayal also, bhajan also, ghazal also, all kind of, because my father says music is music. You cannot restrict yourself. So I want to do all kind of a music, but when it comes to my personal choice, it would be always Dhrupad.
Okay. Arundhati ji, it's a wonderful conversation. I'm pretty sure we'll probably have like a part 2 or a part 3 if people are interested in that.
Sure.
But maybe as a last part of today's segment, the name Arundhati itself is a very interesting name, right? One of the Saptarishis, Mahapatnis, very inspirational, any of those legendary characters. What would be nice is, in whatever way that name resonates to you, if you can feel that and conclude with a rag, a bandish, or like any such thing in a way that makes you feel like, okay, this is my impression of what Arundhati feels to me.
Okay,
right?
There is another story, because my name Arundhati, I used to feel always very old Puranic kind of a statue which is standing in some corner. So I used to tell always to my mother, why you kept my name Arundhati? But when I won the prize in state level Lata Mangeshkar competition in 1994 in Indore, and the heading was like Arundhati is really a star. After that, I started liking my name. So thanks for brought this name. And yeah, so
Your
there
choice,
are
whatever it comes to your mind.
there are a lot of rags which I like, and means I always listen to my ustad also. Let me conclude one rag with rag jog.
Oh,
In Dhrupad, mm, we said chalnat in our gharana.
okay.
But mm, That is just one line of Ustaza.
Please do.
Bheda sonaro, bheda sonaro, kar dikhlave jo koi guni, tab hum jane mane naad. Bheda sonaro, bheda sonaro, bheda sonaro.
Excellent, very nice. Actually, I'm strongly reminded of Uday Bhavalkarji's concert. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
He sings a lot of fast movements, and then there's a certain point when he holds at upper sa for about 30 seconds. When he holds for 30 seconds, and I think this is in an auditorium, like 600,000 people, people start clapping.
Oh.
And then he tells people, no, don't clap. Just
Yeah.
hold it in your mind. He
Correct.
literally signals that. And he says, enjoy it in your mind. You don't need to clap. And I think it's very reflective of the nature of the music itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is beautiful patterns. There is definitely a lot of creativity coming from the artist,
Yeah.
the experience and the understanding, all that shows. But the bigger picture is that जो अंदर का आनंद है
Yeah.
उसमें लय होना is likely what seems like any of these big artists, including you,
Oh,
when I'm listening to no, but when we are listening to you, as much as I'm enjoying it, my immediate intuitive reaction is not necessarily to clap and say excellent. It feels more like, okay, I feel very calm,
Calm.
right? I feel like I'm in the presence of the raga itself.
Yeah.
It's like a personification of the raga that you just want to enjoy.
Correct.
Sometimes when you're so happy, you don't want to speak, you don't want to share,
Yeah.
you're just happy, right? It feels like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was an excellent session. I think very informative for me.
Oh, thank
right?
you so much.
Feeling a lot of gaps and also demonstratively. Pretty sure that the viewers feel the same. There's a lot of open questions that I have that I want to take, but in the interest of time and also to keep things more engaging, we'll probably have another podcast, hopefully, God willing, God's grace. But
Hope so.
really appreciate your time.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
again to the Dallas community, and we
Thank
hope
you
to
so
see
much.
you perform, collaborate, do individual concerts and all of these, and enrich our culture and community here.
Sure.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.